In June of 1956, Marilyn Monroe's boyfriend, Arthur Miller, was called to testify in front of the House Un-American Activities Committee in Washington, D.C. He was being investigated for his connection with various communist organizations. Arthur did admit to meeting with a few writers from those organizations back in 1940s, but refused to provide their names. He would eventually be charged with contempt. As the testimony was wrapping up, Arthur was asked about his plans for the future. He announced to the committee that he was going to marry his girlfriend, Marilyn Monroe. It is believed that Arthur's connection to the American sweetheart Marilyn may have brought public attention and sympathy to him, therefore protecting him from legal repercussions. Although his love for Marilyn was undeniable, Marilyn's public persona could have potentially helped Arthur to evade legal consequences. But how did their relationship develop, and did Arthur regret marrying Marilyn later? Marilyn and playwright Arthur Miller first met each other in 1951 when Arthur was visiting California. Later in 1955, after years of staying in touch, they resumed their communication in person, shortly after Marilyn had moved to New York. Arthur was still married, and just like in 1951, he still struggled with his marriage being emotionless and sexless. Marilyn was everything he had been wanting in a partner. She was sensual, romantic, and desired him as a man. Not only was she a good lover, but also a muse to him as a playwright. Lonely in a new city, Marilyn did not hesitate for a second to start dating the man who was successful and had good reputation. Unfortunately, her promiscuous Hollywood reputation that Arthur held in his heart and mind was messing with his mental health. Her history was like a stain on all the good features that Arthur saw in her. He felt morally guilty for being with her. So why did he marry Marilyn while harboring all these uncomfortable and negative feelings inside? Most importantly, why did he do it at the time he was being investigated for his communist connections? Their marriage was only 2 weeks old when something terrible happened. In July of 1956, Marilyn and Arthur headed to England to start filming The Prince and the Showgirl. During that time, Marilyn's reputation for erratic behavior on movie sets was starting to overwhelm everyone, including her husband. Marilyn had turned into a difficult, resentful, and spoiled brat of a movie star, causing everyone to hate her. Arthur was deeply disappointed by her, but he was refusing to confront her face to face. To let his feelings be known, he made an entry in his journal and left it open for Marilyn to hopefully read it. In his journal, he confessed how difficult and annoying Marilyn was and what a disappointment their relationship had become. Arthur shared that he was embarrassed and ashamed of her in front of his friends and colleagues. Marilyn was crushed. This was one of the most devastating moments of her life. As Arthur later confirmed, she read it in an astonishment and then fainted. Their marriage was shattered. The couple spent the rest of their marriage trying to glue the broken pieces together, to no avail. It's unclear what life Arthur envisioned for himself with Marilyn, but he certainly knew enough about her before saying "I do." So was his decision genuine? Or did he act based on the fear of being thrown in prison?